Hey guys, back at it. This is day 306, 307, and 308 in my 1 year daily diary challenge. This challenge was prompted by a 100-day challenge that was intuitively prompted through a meditation session. So if you want more information about that, please pop back and listen in. It was just a beautiful experience that helped me get outside of my comfort zone, be more authentic, be real, raw, uncut, unedited, work on my throat chakra, my voice, really expressing myself and being just 100% out there in who I am. And it's been such a beautiful process to now be in day 300 plus and so very close to that 1 year mark, which I'm so excited that I decided to keep this going. But yes, it's been quite a crazy couple of days, and we are in Florida, the kids and I. Also, my grandmother, she is still in the hospital recovering from surgery. And yes, so today is Monday, and my pops is back to work. My mom is back to, today she doesn't work, but she's doing a little bit of work stuff today, but also at the hospital with my grandmother. We have done grocery store runs. We are getting prepped for Cinco de Mayo. We're going to cook a whole bunch of food and bring it up to her at the hospital later. So today is just like a chill day. I didn't have anything really planned, except I did put out calls to the schools to see like what documentation I needed to get, and they did not return my calls yet, but I had to make a run up to the health department to get vaccination exemption records for my kids, because we used to live in Florida and we did get religious exemptions and they're on file, and so I just needed to get copies. So I went to the health department early this morning to do that, and then went to the bank to deposit some money. And then after that, came back to the house to help with food prep and hanging out with the kids for the rest of the day. So did some food prep with my mom, got everything ready, situated for Cinco de Mayo dinner. And then I went out and got some sun, and my daughter came out with me. We were just hanging out, all of us there. My son, my daughter. My son's been enjoying like getting on his hoverboard and just like going all over outside, and my daughter has a bike down here, so she's been enjoying that as well. But yeah, it's just been a very fun but exciting and filled time. My mom is at the hospital with my grandmother, just helping her with recovery, getting things situated. She might not have insurance to cover therapy, and so that's a new thing that's happened. So we're getting stuff, or my mom's getting stuff to be at the house for her recovery if she's coming directly home. So that was a big chunk of Monday. And then when my pops came home from work, we kind of like packed it up and got ourselves all in a car to bring Cinco de Mayo dinner to the hospital for my grandmother. And then we brought it up there. We just hung out and we enjoyed dinner with her. And because my pops has to work the next day, we did wrap it up a little earlier and come home, and then just hung out at the house. My kids have been enjoying their Oma and Pop's time and their vacation time and time in the sun. Yeah, my tummy was feeling better for sure today, so that was great. And then we wrapped it up and went to sleep, and Tuesday morning woke up and I had a sauna and cryotherapy appointment at Restore, my place that I always go down here in Florida. And so came in a little bit early and talked to the manager about any positions they might have open. And it really wasn't a long talk. It wasn't really a full interview or anything, but it was a good connection and a good talk. I did my sauna and I did my cryo, And then I went home and I got some sun. And then I just, I got a call from the school, from my daughter's high school, saying that the admissions counselor was available. So I went over there and I got some paperwork that I needed and just like started thinking about the process of like getting them registered and what documents I need. Just getting everything in order so that I can get that process started as soon as possible. And so that was a big chunk of the day. And yes, we did end up going, actually on the way home from the Restore Hyper Wellness, I stopped at my friend's new gym and coffee shop space. So I was able to tour the plant shop, the coffee shop, tour the gym facility, meet the owners, just have a really nice connection and coffee time. And so I did that on my way home and was able to just connect, connecting with more groups locally is great, connecting with more people, talking about, what I'm planning to do in the future with my yoga and sound certifications that are coming up later on in the fall. And then I had a dinner meet up with my friend locally, and so we just confirmed that, and I headed out and met up with them, and we just talked about coffee, we talked about business, we talked about local. They are actually one of the musicians in a sound bath that I'm doing on Wednesday. So I was able to talk about coming to that. So it was just a really nice night of connection. And so my friend is peanut allergic, gluten sensitive, and vegan. And so the kitchen had some confusion about their meal, and it took a little bit longer and more effort to get that out. And so we were having a great time just talking and connecting and whatnot. And the owner came over, and I thought it was really funny because I commented, I knew he was the owner of the restaurant because I could tell he was sitting at the bar. He was all dressed up really nice. His hair was slicked back. He's most likely a Cuban guy, unbuttoned shirt and just that whole slick Hispanic look, which is funny. He was like, ladies, let me get you drinks, let me get you an appetizer, this mix-up is not supposed to happen. So he wanted to take care of us, and that was cute. So he got us some guacamole, and he got just some things taken off the bill. But it was a really lovely night, beautiful connection and engagement, and my friend is actually going to help me get a part I need for my espresso machine so I can fix it when I get home. And then I went home and I chilled with the family, and eventually we all went to sleep. But what was really beautiful about that is I sat down with my mom and we had a very beautifully healing conversation about how my dad passed away. And I had asked her if she could tell me prior. And so she, at this point, just felt like it was the right time. She just opened up and spoke about it. And there was a lot of extra words that she had, and it was very healing and very profound and beautiful. And so I do think it was the right time for her to be able to express that and heal. And my heart space just felt so open to receiving that. And it was just so, so beautiful. So that was a great way for us to end the night. All went to sleep Wednesday morning, woke up. I relaxed in the morning. And my daughter wanted to go get coffee, and my son wanted to go to a cat cafe, and I had a sound bath. So it was literally Wednesday. I was in the car all day long in traffic. Just in the morning, got up, got ready to take my daughter to coffee. Went to coffee, got coffee, enjoyed the space with her, enjoyed the time with her. Came home with her. Got my son ready to go to the cat cafe. We went downtown, we parked, we went in the cafe, we spent our time, we hung out. He was a little disappointed with the activity level of the cats, but that's, we can't always have everything we anticipate sometimes, and that was fine. And then got back in the car, went to the house, got them both so we can go to visit my grandmother in the hospital and take her something she needed. Visited my grandmother in the hospital for a little bit, and then got back in the car to get into traffic to go home to drop them off so that I could get my stuff together and go to the sound bath. So it was lots of car, lots of traffic, lots of things like that. And I was just overdone. And so I was meeting my new Florida guy at the sound bath earlier than the sound bath so we can have some time and hang out and chat. And so, I made it there when I made it. And we just walked to the park and we hung out at the park and chatted a little bit before the sound bath. And we had some really deep, great conversations and connected about certain things, talked about a little financial stuff, and he's super transparent and open, and I just really love that. So then we walked back over to get our stuff for the sound bath, set up. Everybody was ready. Everybody was there. And we entered into the sound bath, and it was just a beautiful 1.5-hour experience. And then afterwards, came back into the space together, and there's just a big storm that happened. So the sky just opened up, and it's thunder and lightning and all of that. So we connected with my friend and just introduced myself to some other people, talked a little bit about, what I'm planning on doing and connecting with the local scene. Talked to my new Florida guy about his first sound bath experience, and it was just, we both had a great time. It was beautiful. And then we went to go leave, and it was still raining, so, we sat in the car and we chatted and we talked a little bit. And then it kind of came up in conversation. Like, he was like, I'm sure you're wanting to know when I'm going to ask you to be my girl officially. And he was like, in my mind, you're already my girl officially. And I already knew that because he said a few things that were kind of directed in that way. But then I was like, yeah, I mean, I had been thinking it. And he said, well, yeah. And I was like, well, is that a question? And so then he said, will you be my girl? And the official question came out, and I was like, well, I don't know. I'm going to take some time to think about it. Hey guys, so I was in the sauna when I was recording those days, and my phone overheated, so it stopped recording. But anyway, I'm going to continue with that day 308. My new Florida guy and I were in the car just having that lovely, beautiful conversation. He asked me to be his girl officially, and I said, I'll take some time, looking just to be very silly about it. And he said, take all the time you need. I don't need my answer right now. And of course, I looked directly at him, just after that, and said, of course, yes, I would love to be your girl officially and, move forward exclusively in this relationship, even though I'll have to say that all the things that have happened around connecting and being in this relationship have allowed me to already be exclusive. So like I said, I deleted my dating app. I started doing the purge of removing people who are in my space and place and surroundings that didn't feel right to me. So it was really, he's the only person I've been talking to and engaging with. So exclusivity was already kind of there, but it was just a beautiful thing to have happen, for it to come up and not to have to wonder what he was thinking or where we were or, that. So I've been very, very open to leaning into that, just going with the flow and not really insisting anything. So like I said, it was just so beautiful after the sound bath to connect and engage and have that happen. But we hung out for a little bit, talking and just connecting, and I was able to without going into too much detail, hold firm to a boundary that I had felt in my heart and set about crossing physical boundaries when I don't feel like I should. And so this was just an interesting thing for me because my love language is physical touch, one of them. And I'm very, like I said, open and go with the flow. But I felt after the sound bath, it was just a beautiful, spiritual, healing, calming space and setup for me to want to sit with that energy and sit with that healing. And of course, connecting and kissing and hugging and, being together is beautiful. But I was like very strong about wanting to just sit with that energy and not change the dynamics of the energy. And so I created that boundary for myself. I spoke it out loud. I held firm to that. And my new love, he was very respectful with that, and he was very supportive with that. And he said something in an audio message later on that evening, like after we parted ways and we both went home. I was like, I'm very thankful to have you support me, to be here, to just be so loving and open and understanding for me in a new space of growth where I'm transitioning to a different way of doing things, and for you to be here and supporting me and loving me in that and honoring what I've said. And so he came back and commented that, he heard what I said. He felt the emotions behind it, and he can either support what I say and be loving in that, or he can, exit the relationship because he doesn't feel like he needs to support it. And obviously he chose to support me and be in it with me. And I was just like such a beautiful thing. And to feel so loved and supported and like space held for me. And I was just like, it was such an amazing thing. It was such a beautiful night and beautiful connection and beautiful everything. And I was just like on a high, dreamland kind of high. And yeah, I was just like such a beautiful time. Come home, it was late. Everybody was kind of like already in bed, getting to sleep. And I was able to connect with my son and just go to sleep and relax and chill. And just like I said, settle into that energy of healing and restoration. But it was just, like I said, just a beautiful day, beautiful time for connection. And yeah, that was the rest of the day and sleep. There was a big, huge storm, lightning, thunder, downpours, but it was just so restorative and beautiful. That, all the things have just been so amazing, and I've just been in the moment and accepting what's happening and just being present and not doing too much of future focusing and kind of feeling feeling my heart, feeling my soul, feeling my emotions more. So yeah, that was just it. That was the rest of the day. And thank you guys for understanding about my phone overheated. It was like not wanting to work in the sauna. So I was trying to do like 2 things at one time, and it worked while it worked, and then it didn't. So thank you guys for supporting me, for listening, for liking, sharing, subscribing, all of the things or none of the things. I do appreciate your time, and that is so valuable. So just again, I love you guys, and have a fabulously amazing, wonderful, beautiful day, and I will catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.